All right, we're live. Proud Masculine live stream. Let's see. March 25th. Getting a little bit of a late start, so come on in. Got some hash browns on the table. Come on in, fill the chat, so we can get going here. Oh, shit. Come on in. Y'all sit tight, I'm gonna grab a sip. Come on, Fancy. Yay. Come on, we gotta get this chat filled up. Come on in. Get this thing started here. Welcome in. Thursday night. What's up, Weston? Black Rose Killer. Hi. Hello. Come on in, y'all. Hit that like on your way in for me. Hey, you two in here, Weston and Black Rose, are y'all subscribers or did y'all just come in here? I'm curious to know how you saw. Oh, to Beck. Fancy, stop. My day has been amazing. Busy, productive. I just got home. What's up, Valdez? So let me ask you this, Black Rose Killer. Did you get a notification that I was live or did you just happen to see it? Question. Come on, y'all. Come on in and hit that like. Proud Masculine live stream, March 25th. Smash the like. Fill it up. Fill it up. King, what's up? Okay, cool, Black Rose. Thank you for telling me that. Because it looks like I'm starting to, my traffic in my channel starting to pick up a little bit again. Like I've been out of YouTube jail for that whole thing. If you're not getting my notifications regular, I have a Telegram group where I drop a link in. So if y'all want to join the Telegram, it's in the what's up, Ed Wiggs? Lazo said, oh my God, it's Joe Rogan. No, it's not. My name is Joe, though, not Rogan. Perez. Good day, man. Good day. Busy day. I'm just getting home. I just walked in the door from jiu-jitsu. So look, I have a Telegram. You can sign in. I copy the live link every night. Every time I go live, I put the link in the Telegram. You get a notification. Well, thank you, Jason. That's an ultimate compliment. I'm going to pin that comment, Jason. My favorite man in the chat tonight. It's 11:15. It's 10:15 here in Louisiana. Aloha, Kulikana. Probably. So anyway, I just want to talk about something tonight. You know, something that I'm going through with somebody in my life who's experiencing a hard time. Is younger. And thank you, Stephen. I'm the GOAT. Right out of Stephen's mouth, y'all. He said it, not me. I'll take it. Thank you for the compliment. You know, look, let me tell you something. This is going to be, I'm going to pause this chat a second, wait for one of my mods to come in, and I'm going to get on with this topic about having to experience hardship through life. And let me tell you something. And this is a lot of people, including myself, can't see the value in the hardship when they're in it, especially if you're a younger man, just starting out, kind of getting your early adult years, 20, 21, 22, 23, and it's a tricky transition period, right? Because you've just turned into an adult. Older people still kind of treat you like a kid, sort of. Like you haven't had much responsibility to deal with, nothing real. Things are starting to happen where you're having bills and, you know, you have shit to do. You have a job now. And, you know, it seems like you're earning your way, but you're seeing the other older people in the workplace and in society, they seem to treat each other differently. And they still kind of treat you like the rookie, you know? And that's a tough spot because you expected to pull your own weight now as a grown-up, but you haven't yet experienced the benefits and the authority, right? It's a little bit of confusing time. And it's like, you know, you don't have much to offer in terms of life experience, work experience, especially if you're starting in a new field. Like, you don't have that much to offer yet. And you're kind of stuck in this weird middle where still kind of a teenager, yet you're a grown man, and it's a strange dynamic. And let me tell you something. That's normal. That's a phase of life and a part of life you must experience to understand what's next. And it's also important to understand that it's before the growth happens, you're going to experience some pain, some confusion, some hopelessness. It's like the chaos before the calm. But the chaos is where the transformation's taking place. And that's what's so hard to wrap your head around. Viewing this as necessary and beneficial. And what you got to be careful for is, all right, Rodera's in. Thank you, Rodera. Come on in. What you said, bye, Rose. Who's Rose? I guess Rose got kicked. Anyway, Rodera's in the chat, y'all. That's my mod. I'm going to pause the chat right here and finish what I'm saying. Then I'll dig back into the chat. So keep yourself busy. If you have a question you want answered right away, put it in the super chat. I'll get straight to you. So this is for my transitioning young men out there who are a little confused about where they are in life. You're not too sure what's going on. You know, people aren't giving you the respect you think you deserve as an adult. But you know you don't have much to offer. You still kind of got one foot as a teenager, one foot in adulthood. Like you really just don't even understand how the world works yet. You're just starting to learn yourself. You're just starting to step out into the world. And I'm not saying that as a derogatory. I'm saying that to give you some context as to where you are in life and that everybody goes there. I've been there. And it's strange. Because it's like, it can be a bit unfulfilling, but there's a lot of lessons to learn in that phase. That's kind of like the apprenticeship phase of life, where you're going to be the apprentice for a while. And here's what's undervalued about that is, in order to be the master, You must be willing to look like the fool. In order to master something, you got to be okay looking like a fool for a little while. Because that's the only way you acquire this experience, is going through it. And sometimes you have some common sense that you can apply to the situation as to what to do. Sometimes you have no idea and you're winging it. And you don't know how it's going to turn out. And then you're going to get critique and criticism from some people, praise from others. You're going to be a little confused. You're going to be a little loopy about what's going on. Because it's like, I see people doing things. I see these people enjoying this, enjoying that, or there's a certain way to talk to each other, but I'm not feeling that. Like, what's up? That's just a normal phase of life, transitioning. And it's going to happen a few times throughout your life. And the chaos that you experience is absolutely necessary. Order is found in chaos. The chaos is there to help you find your way, believe it or not. And look, I know when you're in it, it's hard to understand that or see that clearly, or to be able to internalize that this is actually good for you. I know it's hard to, like, how can you say that this is good for me when I'm feeling like shit? I'm confused. I don't know what to do next. I'm not getting answers. People aren't paying attention. Like, I'm almost invisible. It's meant to be like that. Men are not born, men are made. And as you get older in life and you're starting in your 20s, you're going to have to earn everything you're getting. And like, I know if you have parents with money, you don't have to worry about that, but there's still a place in society as a man, you have to earn that, every bit of it. And part of that's going through that beginner phase, that apprenticeship of life. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's necessary to learn the real life skill and gain the real life experience that you actually need to go out in the world and contribute and better yourself. And be able to add value to the world, because as a man, that's what you judge by, the value you add. And that goes for any position. Husband, dad, boyfriend, employee, friend. That's just the life of a man. If you're not earning, if you're not bringing value, you're pretty much invisible. And that's just the way it is. And some guys take the invisible way out. Say, I really don't want much expectation of me. I don't really care about dating. I'm just going to get a mid-ass job, just something to get me by. And I'm going to hide out. I'm going to hide from life. I'm not even going to live. I'm just going to do shit, play video games, and go to work. And that's it. I can't relate to that. I can't identify with that, but it does happen. And it's happening more and more. And I think there's just a lack of understanding that there's going to be a time when you think you're spinning your wheels. And it's going to seem like that. It's going to feel like that, but you're not. You're actually gathering information that you need to go forward. There's not at any point in your life you should not be involved in seeing what you can do to get out of it. Otherwise, you're just stagnant. You're just taking up space. You're just taking up oxygen. Every moment of every day can be useful for something. Even when you take a rest from being productive, that's doing something. That's recharging the batteries, feeding the machine. I mean, if you're alive, if you're up, you got 10 fingers, 10 toes, arms, legs, eyes, nose, mouth, feet. Do something. There's something you can find to contribute that you can do to contribute to yourself and to the universe. It's called purpose, finding purpose, something purposeful. And that's just a lifelong endeavor. Everybody has a purpose. Even young men who feel invisible and like they don't contribute a lot. You serve a purpose and you have a greater purpose. And that's where your focus should be. And how do I do that? How do I find my purpose? Look for things. Think back when you were a kid and the things that you gravitated towards and the things that gravitated towards you. Were you helpful with something? Were you good with your hands? Were you a quick thinker? Could you negotiate your way out of situations? Could you figure stuff out fast? Like, there's all kind of characteristics you can identify about yourself that'll give you some clue as to what direction to seek your purpose in. And it's something that you do effortlessly, seemingly effortlessly, that you catch on to quick, that you're able to understand and internalize pretty quick. That's most often people's purpose. Like I have a niche for helping men. I was always a helpful kid. I always cared deeply. I was a very deep person, even as a kid. And I've always enjoyed helping people and lifting people up. One time for Christmas in middle school, there was this kid who used to come to school dirty, and his hair was messed up, and he was cross-eyed. You could tell he was poor, like he never looked clean. My heart used to bleed for this guy. So my mom took me Christmas shopping, and I bought him a bunch of stuff and gave it to him on Christmas Day. This dude didn't really care, but like I thought I just did the greatest thing since sliced bread. And gave this dude, I bought him some pretty offensive shit. I didn't realize what I was doing as a kid, but I bought him like some deodorant and a comb to comb his hair, some Stetson cologne, some socks, some shit, just very thoughtful items that I thought the dude might have needed. Like maybe I didn't think he knew he was dirty looking, but I did it from a very deep place. I've always had compassion for people, especially seeing people. And this is what I do as an adult, as men, for men. I reach out to other men. I lift other men up. I show them a better way, a better path, just in a different context now. That's all. It's almost like I'm giving people deodorant and a comb, just in a different way. But I'm giving from the same place. You know what I mean? Because I've been there. I've had a hard life. I've had a hard road. Some of what I was born into, others that I caused on my own. It was my own decisions and choices that led me to that. And by the grace of God, I repeat, the grace of God, that I found my way out of there. And I have an amazing life now. It's fucking awesome. I've been through a lot. I've had a lot of different life experience, from the highest to the lowest and everything in between. Relationships, careers, jobs, social situations, jail, homelessness, addiction, trouble with the law, like trouble with the wrong people you don't want to get in trouble with, like all kinds of stuff. And every aspect of life. I've had some vastly interesting experience. And through all that, I put a formula together for life that is amazing, that I've applied, that I've learned over the years to build and put together and piece together as it's designed for living for me, and it works great day in and day out. Do I follow it to a T? No, not always. Most of the time I am. I've been doing it for so long, it's kind of automatic. But I still have hard times. I still get in dips. I still get in funks. That's nobody's immune from that. I even lose my sense of purpose at times. Sometimes I'm in a funk. That's just the way it is, If I'm not maintaining the things that put me where I am, and that usually happens from time to time because things start going so good you forget what you were doing that got you there. And you quit doing it and start focusing on the other shit, and your quality of life starts to backslide a little bit. Then you start giving attention back to all the things you're praying every day, being of service, making A meetings regularly, helping people, working out, eating right, like all the little things that I've done that I've implemented in my life that's completely turned my life around 180 degrees for the better. Sometimes I lose sight. It happens. It's a human condition. It's not because of a lack of discipline. It's not because of a lack of giving a shit. It's if anything, I would call it's a lack of focus as to doing the little things repeatedly that got me where I am that still have to be done to maintain maintenance work, maintenance, so to speak. And we all fall short sometimes. We all make mistakes. We all fall short. We fall on hard times. And through all that experience, and what I've learned is that my perception has changed. Who I am on the inside has changed, and the way I see and view things. Seeking God for direction has changed my life. It changed my whole perception of everything. So the same things that happen in everyday life still happen to me. I just have a different perception and a different approach. Now I see things as that I'm grateful that I get to. Like, I don't have to go to work. I don't say, I got to go to work today. I say, I get to go to work today. You know why I get to say that? Because I do what I love day in and day out. I own a construction company. I am a personal trainer. I kept 2 clients. That's it. Just to keep up because I love personal training. Then I'm a content creator. I'm a YouTuber. How you like that? I love all that. Everything I do, I love. YouTube is probably the least lucrative, but here's the catch. It's the most fulfilling. And I still get a lot of clients that I help one-on-one. A lot of guys get in my program. My average coaching takes about 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Some guys get it quicker than that. And then they off doing their thing. They have their design. I'm not looking to make lifetime clients out of people. I just give you the tools to reshape your self-image and to reprogram and get you, sent in another direction. Give you some insight to tell you what it is I really see in you and help you understand and recognize that same version of you. Essentially pulling out your true potential, your masculine potential. But and that being the least lucrative, but by far the most rewarding. By far. I get all choked up when somebody comes on my live stream and says, man, you helped me so much. I really look forward to you. You helped me with this. Yeah. I'm like, yes, that fills my heart. That's a calling from God. That's how I know, because it feels amazing. And that's just the way I'm programmed. Always been a natural fucking giver. Now, did I have a period in life where I was a monster? Yeah. That's because I got away from, I got out of alignment. I had some things happen, and I turned heel, turned bad guy for a little while. But that's okay too, That's okay too. That happens. The important thing is where I'm at now, and that I seek God every day. And I actually do give back. I help God take care of his children, and he takes care of me. That's the deal. That's the pact with God. You take care of me, I'll take care of your people. I'll let you work through me to take care of them. And that's what it's all about, what humanity's all about, right? I've seen men down, and I've been down. Nobody wants to be there. Some people don't find their way out, and that's the people that I hope to reach out and tap on the shoulder like, hey, I got a way. There's a way out. You don't have to take the ultimate way out. There's options. I promise you. Because I've been there too. On the verge of starting a shotgun. And I didn't, thank God. So there's a reason God pulled me ashore, saved me from drowning. And it wasn't to hold my head underwater. He kept me alive for a reason. And the more I seek God, the more I understand my purpose. And I recognize the characteristics, my traits, I understand my liabilities as well, and I understand my strengths. And through a lot of deep, deep inner work, self-work, with professionals, with specialists in behavior, specialists in hypnotherapy, like I've spent, gotta be somewhere north of $250,000 on specialized treatment for mindset, perception, attitude, everything. And sometimes, so through all that and through my own experience, I've learned how to coach myself. And that's the whole objective. That's the whole reason I sought the people I did, so I can do this on my own. And that's the same thing I pass on to the guys. The things that God saved me from and showed me a way out, I share with these people. I share with these men. So you can do it on your own one day. And when it comes time for another brother holding his hand up looking for help, you can help him. That's how it works. I'm going to go through this chat real quick. I'm way behind, y'all, so King Card Oasis says, totally agree, but found my ultimate strength in Marine Corps where Jesus came into my life fully. Amen, brother. Thank you for your service, by the way. We also have a fellow veteran, our moderator, Rodera, serves in the U.S. Army. Amen, Zaxa. Hey, Mary Jane, what's up? I also tell my guy cousins, eat happy fruit, like what doctors say, banana a day if it helps, keeps us happy. Hey, look at that. I eat one every day. It is a happy fruit. Kuikana. Thank you, Weston. No, I'm not here to spread hate. The Russian name says, I'm staring into his soul with them eyes. I'm peering into your soul. D-Dog said, do you have... Hey, Ange, look who's here, y'all. Angela. The Queen Mod. Coming in here, the OG. The OG of the live stream. You know, DT was the original mod from when I used to do just Wednesdays. When I started this daily, Angela, the mod, is the one who really kicked me off. I don't mean kicked me off the channel, but kicked it off with the modding thing. She's done an exceptional job. She's a huge contributor to the channel. Y'all need to know that. So does she. Do I have kids? Yes, D-Dog, I have a son. What's up, Jerome? Probably don't remember me, but you've been very nice and helpful to me in the past. Well, thank you, Jerome. Thank you I was just speaking about that. Was I not just saying how much that means to me when somebody comes into my live chat and tells me? How awesome is that? Oh, look, I ain't far behind the chat at all. Shit. I thought that people would have been storming through here. Guess not. Yeah, well, I'm the only one who eats bananas here. Mrs. Proudmasculine doesn't touch the bananas. She touches a banana, not these bananas. You understand? You know what you smell what I'm stepping in? Yes, I don't like them. I don't like them. Like, you see how they're starting to get brown? No, I like them a little slightly green right here, where they're like firm. And they kind of got that dry texture. Something about them. So, but I get them green, and they seem to ripen as soon as I get them home. I'm going to eat one right now. Y'all don't mind, do you? I got my bell rung in jiu-jitsu. We were doing this very complex, high-level technique, and the guy doing it to me dropped me smack on the crown of my fucking head, and my head's killing me. I have a concussion. I can feel it. My eyes are swelling up. Fucking guy. Well, if they get spotty, I usually turn them into banana pancakes. Mush them in with the batter. Put some butter and maple syrup on them shits. I get concussions all the time. Matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, I got one by the same dickhead who can't seem to nail the technique. And he's a higher rank than me, and I can do the thing fine. And since I even gave instructions, because this is a highly complex move. What you do is somebody punches, you reach in, hook their arm, you pulling them to you. As you're spinning them, you throw your elbow around the back of their neck, shoot your body at the same. You got to do this all at once. It's one fluid movement. You throw yourself sideways, pull it like your feet, you're horizontal, up in the midair as you're pulling, and you flip the person completely over. Bah! But if you don't do it right, the person just falls straight down onto their head. Which for real life, that would be optimal. You crack their fucking skull open on the concrete. But for jiu-jitsu class, it's not ideal at all because it crunches my neck. I saw stars when he did it. This is the second time the son of a bitch did it. And this is why every time I start to get well and I'm healing, boom, I'm injured again. I'm getting fed up with that shit. Like, I'm too busy of a person. I can't be all broke up all the damn time. Ryder, I thought you was sick with a cracked tailbone and shit. You have until May. You got plenty of time. It's not like you don't do it all the time, rucking. You'll get it where you need to be. So yeah, y'all, that's what it's all about. Life's gonna happen. You have a choice how you respond. You can get up and choose to be the victim. Either you can be the cause or you can be the effect. The choice is yours. You have a choice constantly. Every second of every day, you can turn things into your favor simply by shifting your mindset. 2, I get to. I'd automatically put you in a state of gratitude. When you acknowledge something and say, I get to, not I have to. What's up, Jake? F47, doing good, man. Eating my banana. So, that one simple phrase can shift your whole perception of life. Not only turn you in the middle of a day or just a funk in, because we talked about that happens. But that's that one simple understanding I get to, that's life-changing. And if you start saying that about everything, oh, I have to take the garbage out. Oh, I have to see the kid. Oh, I have to take the wife. Oh, I have to go to work. I have to work out. I have to change the have-tos with get-tos and watch your fucking mindset shift. Every time you're catching yourself, I have to take the garbage. No, I get to take the garbage out. I got a house where, let's see it, Jake, what you got? He said, this might sound like I'm being a bitch, but all I know is sales in the past and now I don't want to go back to doing sales and possibly could go into construction, but don't know really thing about any of it. And I'm 40. I didn't open a business till 3 years ago. So 40 ain't got nothing to do with it. Jerome, Christian, says, how do I stop craving women? Will it ever stop? Maybe when you're older, brother. How old are you, Jerome? Tell me how old you are. Good question, though. That's legitimate. How old are you? 32. Nah, man. It's natural for you to crave women. Why do you think that's a bad thing? Look, guys. Look. God put the instinct for sex in us. Right? So you can turn lust into connection. You can, for Jake, for the married guy, you can turn lust into lighthearted, deep connection with your wife. And you can have an amazing relationship. People don't understand that. Lust, love, like all these things are from the same place, right? The energy. Energy cannot be destroyed or created, but it can be redirected. It can be transmuted. You could take that same lustful energy and turn it into purpose, to usefulness. And Jerome, don't Don't be ashamed of, you see, society wants to do this to men especially. It's okay to be interested in women. That's what we are biologically. Harom, everybody gets rejected. Have you been on my channel long? And one of the precepts of being a man is be able to tolerate rejection. Dude, I'm good with women. And I get rejected. I've gotten rejected. Who cares? Why are you doing it? Are you doing it to have fun? Or are you doing it because you need some validation from a woman? Are you doing it because you genuinely want to? Or are you searching for some validation externally from a person, from a woman? Does a woman have anything to do with your self-worth? Or does a woman have to do with anything to do with your character as a man? What's up, Devin? No. Be okay with rejection. Well, okay, I don't mind validation either, but you know where I get my validation from? The mirror first. That's all that matters, brother. If you put your power in other people's and other things' hands for worth, you'll never be enough. You'll never amount to anything. I do believe in God, Devin, of course. Absolutely. The validation is an inside job, brother. Self-love, self-respect, integrity. Validation comes from within. Never put your worth in somebody else's hands, ever. Not even your parents, nobody. That's for you to decide. Sounds like you might have to do some work with me, brother. You ought to book a one-on-one or DM me, go to my email. Oh shit, that reminds me, I forgot to talk to Ayush. I got to do that as soon as we get off. Damn it. Sorry, Ayush, if you're coming on. But look, and also, Harom, women could be rejecting you. Women can sense neediness in men. Women can sense when you need a pick-me-up. And a woman does not want to be responsible for your self-worth. Women do not want to be pedestalized and made to feel like you're the only thing that makes you worthy in your life. That's repelling to women. If you want more luck with women and understand women better, first learn female nature. Work on yourself. That's what's attractive. And I tell guys this, and they're like, what pickup lines and what this and that? Doesn't matter. It's whatever you giving off, whatever energy you bring into the party. You know what I mean? That's what's attractive. When women can sincerely sense that you're validated, like you love yourself, they love that. They can't resist a man who genuinely respects himself and has a healthy self-esteem and a good, healthy self-image. That's attractive because women are generally, by default, by being women, are insecure. So women can't stand insecure men. And it doesn't look good. Women, I get it. You know, women know biologically that, you know, they're perceived by their beauty, their purity, their fertility. Like there's all these things that have to do with youth and beauty, and they know that. And they know that's probably their strongest asset is their beauty and purity and femininity. So they clinch on to that for dear life. Every one of it, dude, I've met some hot, like dimes, insecure from top to bottom. That's just the way women are. Men aren't like that. You're not supposed to, look, and I'm not saying everybody has insecurities. I have insecurities, but I don't wear it on my sleeve. And it's things that I know are insecurities, and it's things that I work on. And I also realize that those insecurities, some that are still lingering, is because of me. That's just part of being a human being too. But if you need validation externally, you need things or people or women to validate you, brother, it's never going to be enough. It'll never be good enough. When you put your quality of life and your self-worth in someone's hands, you're going to lose it every single time. Then you're putting conditions. You're putting like a weight on your self-worth that will never measure up. It can't. It cannot. Because people are imperfect. They'll let you down every time. And what if you with somebody you're really digging and they decide they don't want you anymore or something and they break up? There goes your fucking ticket to self-worth. They're gone. There goes your validation. Then what do? You need to internalize for the bad motherfucker that you are and understand that and know that internally and embody that. Sigma, I am the real alpha in the pact plus respect. I don't know what that means. A lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of others. Do women crave men? Hell yeah, Jerome. We crave each other. And you know, crave's a strong word. Do they desire men? Absolutely. That's how we design. This is why they had to put something biological in us to make us mate. If you didn't crave or desire one another, you'd never fuck and you'd never procreate. And the things that women are attracted to are not the same things men are attracted to. Women are attracted to strength, confidence, assurance, provisioning, protecting, status. You know, there are visual cues that women do just like we do. We look at tits, neck. Everybody looks at symmetry, similar to their own. And, you know, some people are just universally good-looking people. But like somebody I might think is dead ass gorgeous, you might not even think she's that good looking. So, but it's biologically programmed in us to desire each other. Women are a little more discreet about it, and they don't think about sex as much as we do. Don't think women ain't fucking freaks, dude. Don't think women don't get nasty, dirty fantasies. See, this is what you guys don't understand. You don't understand. Like shit men say, oh, I don't want to offend her. You ain't going to offend that woman. That woman started dirty as shit than you'd be shocked if you heard what she really admitted to. I've had a lot of women I've been with have opened up to me about their dirty secrets because I'm that type of guy. I'm not going to judge them for that. I'm going to help you live it out. And a woman wants to embrace and embody her sexuality with someone that she can trust, that's not going to judge her, but that she can freely express herself sexually to a man, to submit, fully submit to a dominant man who's going to safely take her in to that dirty place and blow her fucking mind. No, you see, Jake, why do women want men to be vulnerable, yet hate when they are? Women don't want you to be vulnerable, brother. That's just something they say. Your vulnerability, you know what triggers that? Their own insecurity. They say, open up to me. Tell me how you feel. Yes, Jake, I do think it's okay for a man to have multiple women. Under the understanding that the women know. Tehran, it's all right, brother. I'm glad you're here. It's a woman's insecurity triggers her wanting you to be vulnerable. When a woman senses you're a little bit out of reach and they begin to get a little bit of anxiety, little uncertainty, which is actually the little tickle and tingle that draws them to you. That's why they're like, I gotta have it. I don't understand this guy. I gotta have him. And they will immediately start trying to change you, thinking that's what they want. And men fall for this shit all the time. This is one of the biggest issues I have with men who's come out of relationships. It's like, well, she wanted me to do it. You become agreeable. You start rewarding all the good stuff, all the good behavior. And I have one question that I always go back to. Well, I disagree, Jake. But anyway, I have one question for every guy that who's in that situation's come out of a breakup, come out of a relationship. It's like, I don't know what happened. I did everything she wanted. I'm like, yeah, that's what happened. You didn't maintain individuality. Think about who you were when you first met her. That's what attracted her to you. The aloof guy who didn't really care, who could take it or leave it, had a social life, had hobbies, had all these things. And this happens all the time. And remember this, familiarity breeds contempt. You got to keep it fresh. You got to keep some mysteries. You got to keep some interest in there. And you see, we mistaken women for men. As men, because that's how we do, that's how we deal with each other. You get a fucking homeboy, you start getting closer to him, y'all share more intimate stuff, and then that's how you reward each other, with attention, with praise. And I'm not saying you should never praise your girl, but if you overdo it, it becomes insincere. It automatically becomes insincere, which is like, he's just saying that to say it. It gets boring. And that's the worst thing. Dude, you can piss her off, you can make her cry, you can make her smile, you can make her horny, you can make her crack up laughing, you can make her feel all kind of stuff. But boredom, that's a death sentence for a relationship. That's a death sentence. You cannot bore them. You can pick on her, you can tease her, keep her giggling, things like that, but don't bore her. That's the worst thing you can do. Women need women need to feel. This is how women are built. This is what they live for, to feel. Why do you think they start shit when things, and every guy said this, I've said this too, like every time things are going smooth, she'll start some unnecessary drama. That's because they need it. They want to feel something. Which is why it's so important that you stay ahead of that you're the one injecting the feelings now and then. You got to wake her up a little bit, zap her, let her feel it. It was like, whew, that's what I needed. I'm trying to tell y'all. No, I get what you're saying, Jake, but I disagree. I think it's okay to have multiple women. I don't think that's anything against Christ. Some of the disciples had multiple wives, multiples. And if it's from an honest place, because let me tell you something, fellas. When you're a stand-up dude and you have all these quality attributes that women love, women will share you. Women will share you. What's different for women is when you're dishonest to them, when you affect their reputation. See, a lot of guys, so let me tell you like this. A man and woman cheat, right? Man catches his girl cheating, what does he say? Is he better than me? Did you kiss him? It's a dick bigger than mine. That's him. When a woman catches a man cheating, what does she say? Do you love her? So that's what's on the chopping block, is the emotional connection for women. For guys, it's the physical. Because as men, we know when a woman submits, that's what that means. We know what that means. However, me and my girl are not in a relationship where I exercise my freedom, but I have been in before. And it was a conversation. It's a conversation worth having. Like, because you may be in a part of life where you want to date multiple women. And if you're coming from an authentic place and being straight up about it, I don't see a problem if she consents. Now, you got to really see what that means. What does that look like? But yeah, any girls that I've had, I was single for a while, so I was dating, and I tell all the girls, she says, "Well, how's your dating life?" And I say, "Dating, having fun," and that was it. That's what I would be completely honest with them. Yeah, I'm dating, seeing other women. Oh, okay, And I've even had girls like, okay, that doesn't bother me. Just, as long as you come back to me. I've been in relationships where that was the case. I don't think it's a negative. I don't think it's wrong. But, in talking about the woman and man, the difference in the sex is a woman, the ones that in relationships could handle me going to have sex. What they didn't want is all the snuggling and an emotional exchange and like being there present emotionally for them. They didn't care about the sex. And, but yeah, I was always honest, and we'd have that conversation. And, I met Mrs. Proudmasculine, and we had that conversation. And we both agreed we want monogamy. So we're monogamous. And I adhere to that, and she does. That was the agreement. Because at the end of the day, look, I did the dating scene, the Playboy, the rotation, the revolving door of women. At first, it's a lot of fun, but very unfulfilling. Very unfulfilling. I prefer, and this is a conversation Miss Proudmasculine and I had when we first met. Like, ultimately, I want to be with somebody that I spend my life with, that I wake up to and go to sleep to every night. I like a deeply connected relationship. Because actually, the sex is way better. I think so. Now, look, I've had some fun times with sex, don't get me wrong. But the meaningfulness of it, the outcome and the result and the act during is so much better. Well. Look at what we got here, y'all. Oh, disappearing Daisy, making an appearance. What are you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. Daisy, y'all. Boy, cutie right there. Well, all right, Bob, New Jersey. Great fucking take. I'm glad you said that, because that's actually something I was getting to. You still working on that house, girl? Good night. Bob, you hit the nail on the head. So if I'm with someone in a committed relationship, just like I wouldn't share her, I don't want her to share me, because what does that say about me? What does that say? So but you see those, fly-by relationships and the girls I dated, there was an understanding that there's an understanding that it's not a real deep thing. It's not serious. It's dating, We kind of knew that. There was no deep connection, no depth. And so it didn't bother me. I just felt obligated to tell them straight up, here, this is how I live my life. If you want to stay in, you're welcome to. If not, I understand. Either way. But, like, I wouldn't want Miss Proudmasculine being okay with sharing me. Now, understand too, women think differently. That's not the same thing. Like, we thinking from a man's point of view. Like, how could you fathom sharing your woman with somebody? Like, that's crazy to me. But I mean, there's a difference between a man and a woman. Women submit, men dominate. If a woman cheats on you, right, that means she was emotionally available for another man. That means she submitted. All of her beauty, submission, obedience, all of these things were given to another man. She opened her legs and received another man. So he took something. He inadvertently, he's taking. When a woman allows a man for sex, right? That's how it works. A woman is penetrated. A man goes on the hunt. A man conquers. Men achieve, they conquer, we take. So somebody conquered your girl. This is why women don't think like that. You go stick your dick in somebody else. Like, the important thing is like, did you love her? Did you kiss her? Did you hold her? Did you, you know? But I feel that. And like, I wouldn't want my girl to be like, oh, I don't care who you go fuck. You know what I mean? Yes, Daisy, I love that. All in or all out. And that's ultimately was my desire. And we had this talk. Mrs. Proudmasculine and I have been together almost 3 years now. And in the beginning, you know, we used to have these long talks when we first met. Like the first months, we'd stay up all night talking. I love that. In bed talking. And she asked me like, what do you want? Like, you ever gonna settle down? You know? I said, all right, I'll be honest with you. I was very upfront with her. I didn't hide anything from this young lady. And I told her, I want to be with somebody that I can grow old with. You and me against the world. DT, should men date divorced women? I'm going to get to that. All right, I'm going to get to it now because my policy is you send a super chat, you get your question answered. DT's got a great question. Matter of fact, y'all, isn't that crazy? I was just talking about the original Wednesday mod, and here he is, DT. You meeting him in person. Hold on a second, y'all. 1 second, I'm going to come answer that. All right, I'm back. Great question, DT. Everybody, let's get W's in the chat for DT. So, Daisy brings us to our first point. Now, look, this is a lot to fucking unpack. So I'm just going to glaze over it with a simple answer, and that's yes. But to Daisy's point, if you're going to get in a serious committed relationship with a woman who's been through a divorce, I guess, you know, substantial time. Look, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. People make rash decisions, bad decisions at a younger age, or, you know, fall for the moment, and all the time. All the time. You know, you also have divorce situations where there's two people, one person's growing and the other one's stagnant. And naturally, energetically, you're going to pull away from that person. If you're applying yourself to growth and improvement and, you know, getting the most out of life, and you got another person who really doesn't care, have like a nonchalant attitude, or they did in the beginning, and then they stop taking care of themselves. Naturally, you're going to grow apart. Sometimes you get two young people that are just madly in love and don't think it through. And other times you have longer relationships. There was a lot of dysfunction. And it just matched because both people were dysfunctional. And neither one of them showed up right. And here's the important thing. Fresh out of a divorce, she's a fuck buddy. That's That's a no. And you also have to pay attention to how she explains the divorce, the breakup, her perception of it. Because I can tell you right now, what you're going to hear is, oh, he was a narcissist. Oh, he was this. Oh, he was emotionally abusive. He was mentally abusive. He did this and he did that. And you don't hear her ever take accountability. That's a huge red flag. Because I don't care who did what and who says what. It takes two people to keep a relationship together, and it takes two people to tear one apart. If she doesn't take responsibility for her part in it, that's a red flag, which leads me to my next point. And this has to do with Daisy's baggage that she's talking about, because that's what happens. You're going to take on baggage. Anybody who spends substantial amount of time with anybody for a long period of time, because I did it, and I'm divorced, I'm in a relationship. Mrs. Proudmasculine was divorced. But here's the difference, y'all. And here's something that I say yes, absolutely to. What has that person done to themselves since the divorce? Can they honestly, have they gotten help? Have they addressed the things that were character flaws that contributed to the breakup, that contributed to the dysfunction? Have they gotten help? Yes, Daisy, very good point. And it's kind of going into what I'm saying. Has she taken the time to just step away and do some introspection and some reflection and honestly say, this is where I didn't hold up my end? And this goes for men too. The only thing that happens when you break up with somebody or divorce and you don't do anything about, like you don't take enough time to step back and say, what could I have done differently? Where was I at fault? Leaving the other person out of it entirely. Not being able to say, well, you did this, so I did this, and you did this, so I did this, and you did this, so I did this. Like none of that. Just to simply step back and say, what could I have done differently? Where was I lacking? And look at the issues that come from deep down that contribute to that dysfunction and do something about it and correct that. And I don't mean just having an awareness of if I'm codependent or I had a fucked up childhood and I got some trauma because anything you have that you carry deep in your subconscious, if there's one experience in life that'll bring all of your shit out to surface, is a romantic relationship. Because there's a lot of risk there. There's a lot to invest. You got to figure you're investing yourself, your whole self into another person. You putting yourself out there. And your body's natural, your subconscious's natural mode of operation is to keep you alive. Your subconscious, all right, stupid fuck. Your subconscious is just going to be there to keep you alive, and that's it. Your subconscious doesn't know good from bad, right from wrong. It just knows dead or alive. And if you've dealt with a lot of stuff growing up and had some traumatic experiences that come from a place of love, like your parents causing, like the people you associate with love and protection and security with the most fuck you up. Parents do, fuck kids up. And where do you think they get their complexes and their self-esteem and their self-worth and their self-image? It's all built by parents. So, and then after you get a little older, you look back and you're like, damn, those people are supposed to protect me and take care of me. They're supposed to love me. They used to make sure I'm alive. And that's what these people thought of me? Well, that's what I must be. That's what your subconscious is telling you. Said you're going nowhere, you don't listen, you're a piece of shit. Then I must be a piece of shit. I must not be worth loving because the people who were supposed to love me the most didn't. Or they didn't show it in a very healthy way. So what will happen is inadvertently, you're going to attract that kind of relationship because that's what you associate with love. And that's That's what's going to manifest in any romantic relationship where you start to get involved with loving someone, which is just a bunch of hormones, right? And chemicals. What would I consider a high body count? 10. More, less than 10. 8. 8's high. People are like, what? Yeah, that's high. No judgment. That's just my preference. My ex-wife only had me and one other guy. And Mrs. Proudmasculine has a low notch count as well. There's a difference. Trust me. I've dated high body count chicks. It's not the same. And I wish these young ladies would understand that. That's not to be toyed with. Sex for a man and sex for a woman is two totally different animals. But anyway, back to the subconscious thing. So if you have this dysfunction and these unhealthy attachment styles, when you get out of a marriage that was broken up and dissolved because of the chaos and the turmoil and the trauma or whatever it might have been, do you think that shit just disappears with the marriage? No. It just goes back below the surface. Because then you start fooling yourself. You know what? I'm cured. I'm healed. Until what? Until that's tested again. Everything is theory until you test it. And you have this idea with no fucking real-time work, no valuable input, output, and rewiring and reprogramming. That shit's not going anywhere. You can think you healed all you want. You're going to find out quick when you fall in love with somebody else and you get into another long-term relationship. After the honeymoon phase wears off and shit gets real, all that stuff's coming back up. And you're basically just going to experience the same dysfunctional relationship with every person you meet. And it gets worse the older you get. Because people like to fool themselves. I'm done. I can't find anybody. That's guys. All women are the same. Women, all men are the same. Nobody says, you know, what's weird is I've dated 5 different people. And the exact same thing happens with all 5. What's the common denominator? Me and my shit. So, that's why. Yeah, you can date divorced women. Have they had a good year or so, just off the market, doing intensive, extensive work, praying and, you know, getting their psychology looked at, working on their inner demons, confronting their demons and flaws? Like, can a woman sit down and tell you that I wasn't great in the marriage either? Or at the very least, because and this is what I don't get, how women tell on themselves, men as well, say, oh, she was this and she was this. I was like, okay, well, why were you attracted to that? Oh, Radha, that girl's damaged goods for life. And she publicized it. That's beyond horrid. Like, what kind of fucked up is this girl? 1,000 dudes. Can you think about that? And she did that for what? For attention. It turns out she's a fucking bit of a sicko PDF file. You know what I mean? That she goes after much younger boys, underage. Anyway, so yeah, you can date divorced people. Nobody's perfect. Nobody skates through this life unscathed. Nobody gets through without getting some bumps and bruises, especially if you make it into your later years, you know, your late 30s, 40s, 50s. Because the question that begs to be asked is, why the fuck are you single? Right? And that's subconsciously How should one fix a sexless relationship after many years together? Well, I got to ask men. First, I got to ask the man the question is, how are you showing up? Sex in a marriage is both people's, it's an obligation. I don't care what anybody says. Sex is not you getting pussy or she's getting dick. Sex is I'm sharing me with you. It's an equal. You meet in the middle there. There's no one person makes out better than the other. And it depends on the context, DT. Because from the way I see it, you're getting it just as good as I get it. So we ain't even going to use that as a, you better be lucky-eyed, da-da-da-da. And it depends on the context. Like, is it sexless because of the, and look, when it comes to sex, that's in my top 3 list of shit for a relationship. Women's, it's usually a little further down in the line, but for men, that's top 3. I have a very healthy sexual appetite. And you see, this is the conversations I have. I'm not afraid to talk about, when shit, not on the first date, obviously, but if things start looking like we getting closer and closer, the inevitable, so with or we conversation comes up, right? Absolutely, men should have a higher body count than women. Like there's a limit, but experience looks good on a man. Experience don't look good on a woman. Purity, cleanliness, innocence, being soft, being feminine. That's what looks good on a woman. Like, I see women out there dressed like hizzos for shizzos. And, like, yeah, I like looking at tits and stuff like that. But you get me a woman in a nice dress who's just knows how to put it on, made up and dainty. Classy, demure women. That short circuits my brain. Yeah, feminine energy. But about the sexless marriage, like it depends on the context and where it comes from. And this is why, fellas, if you're not dating yet or you're just in a relationship, have the conversation. Make it known up front and make it understood that you will not tolerate sex being used as a tool. You will not tolerate unenthusiastic sex, or you won't tolerate being turned down for sex. And obviously there's exceptions. If she's sick or a long day and tired, you can wait a night. It's not that big of a deal. But if she's if she's routinely like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I don't feel like it. Oh, I had this. No, sir. No, ma'am. But you see, and it depends. Like that's a pretty broad question, DT. I'd say, and what you're gonna have to do at that point is, and it takes some work to rebuild. But like I was saying earlier, men get complacent in relationships. And they start becoming accommodating and yes, whatever for you, dear. And all of a sudden she's like, I just don't feel it anymore. And she'll just start making shit up. Oh, you don't help around the house. So he starts doing chores. He's like, okay, will you touch my pee-pee now? Oh, well, you did this the other day. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Da, da, da. And he starts following all these rules she makes up out of the clear blue. All of a sudden she's got a fucking rule book for you to get laid. And what happened is you're a shell of your former self. So a pussy doesn't get wet anymore for you. And you often see these marriages start turning into like a roommate situation or like this brother-sister type dynamic where the sexual polarity, the polarity is gone. The guy still has a sex drive, a healthy sex drive, but she's lost it because women need feelings. They need a woman's biggest sex organ is her brain. She needs to be turned on. She needs to be interested. She needs to be curious. She needs to be intrigued. And it's the little things that guys overlook. Like, you got to remain a little bit of a mystery. You got to keep yourself in shape. You got to keep her ass in check. Because part of her turning you into a softie is disrespecting you on purpose. It's called a test, a shit test. She'll see what you can get away with. See if you're going to stand up for yourself. And if you don't, she just turns the volume up on it. And the more she gets over on you, the more you allow her to disrespect you, the less she wants to fuck you. So, there's a few steps. And I'm not going to go over that, DT, because that's in my paid coaching, like the corrective steps. And it's a lot to go over anyway, and I don't want to give away my good secrets, honestly. But it can be fixed. Yeah, all right, there you go, Daisy. And I was about to say something similar to that. That a sexless marriage is a broken marriage. And if you love the person, you can take corrective measures to repair that. And if she's not too far gone, you can bring her back in. And you'll be banging the shit out of her at will. I've seen it happen. I've helped men do it. I've reignited men's marriages. After, like, the divorce, everything, they got back and made it work out. And it worked out good for them.